Okay, so the book of Proverbs defines 4 types of fools. Here you go. Number 1 is Proverbs 7. I hate autocorrect. It's not peth, it's pethy. You'll have to correct that. Pethy, P-E-T-H-I. I didn't notice it auto-corrected it. Proverbs 7, look at verses 6 and 7. The Hebrew word is pethy, and it says this: For at the window of my house I looked through the lattice, and I saw among the simple and perceived among the youths the young man devoid of understanding. That word simple is the first type of fool. He's called a simple fool. Pethy, not peth, pethy. The best way to describe pethy is, have you ever watched an American Western where they have a saloon and there's a door that opens like this? You know what I mean by a saloon door? A pethy is like a saloon door. When someone walks this way, they go that way. When someone walks this way, they go that way. They just move like the little saloon door, whatever direction people are going. In other words, they just simply are going along with everybody else. And when everybody is buying, Nike shoes, they buy them. When everybody's, doing whatever the latest fad is, they do it. And they're a pethy. They're simple. Verse 6 says, I looked out the window, I saw a simple, he's devoid of understanding, and he just did whatever everybody else does. So that's the first kind of fool. The second type of fool is the Hebrew word ev-EEL. And the reason I tell you that is that if you use Logos, you can actually track these all the way through Proverbs. I love using Logos. And so go to Proverbs 1:7, and when you touch on it in Logos, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools, and when you touch fools, it gives you that list, and it shows the Hebrew word and, all those numbers and everything else. And if you right-click on it, you can see all of these. And the silly fool, he is the one who is perverse or silly. The mouth of the silly fool often gets him in trouble. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish, ev-EEL, is near destruction. He is someone that just mocks at everything. You've probably met people like that. They're silly. I mean, they're like a clown. They like to have everybody laughing at them. Then there's this one, Proverbs 10:23. Now, what's hard is that in Proverbs, they're all called fools. But what God is doing is, God is saying that there are levels of fools. They go from grade 1 fools, grade 2, ev-EEL is worse. Grade 3 is even more, and grade 4 is like hopeless. And what the whole book of Proverbs is, it says everyone starts out as a pethy, just swinging with the crowd. Then they get mocky. Then they get rebellious. That they intentionally, have you ever met a person like that? When they hear of a rule, they want to break it. When they hear something's wrong, they want to do it. It grows inside of us. And Proverbs is all about that. And Proverbs 10:23 puts it this way: to do evil is like sport to the ev-EEL. This third level, this even more foolish fool in Proverbs. But a man of understanding has wisdom. Again, a contrast. So this rebellious fool, he rejects the correction of his parents. He rejects authority. He is rebellious. In fact, the word, this word kes-el or kes-EEL, actually, I'll read to you the Hebrew meaning: stupid or silly or fat. What it means is they're full of themselves. And to do evil is like a sport. And here's the last one, and all of you have heard of this one. Do you remember David and Abigail? And David was out running from Saul, but while he was out running from Saul, he was around all these sheep, and he guarded the sheep from getting stolen, and from a landowner whose name in the Bible is Nabal, N-A-B-A-L. That's what it is in 1 Samuel, Nabal. And this man, if you remember, David sends his men and asks, do we have any pay for protecting your sheep? And Nabal said, you're a bunch of runaway slaves. I'm not going to pay you anything. And David said to his men, go kill Nabal's household. David shouldn't have said that. That was a bad thing. Abigail, you ever heard of Abigail? She runs out, brings food with her, meets David's men, and says, my husband is named Nabal, and he is like his name. Do you know what Nabal means? Nabal in Hebrew, the hardened fool. Psalm 14 is a beautiful description of what this kind of person is like. Psalm 14, it says this, the fool, Nabal, has said in his heart, there's no God, and on it goes. They've turned aside. There's none that does good, no, not one. Paul quotes that when he, in Romans, gives the gospel. This is the hardened fool. The most dangerous type of fool is the one that's hardened. It means they're wicked. They are the one that is settled, that they are totally closed-minded. They've gotten down here, and they're like a hopelessly hardened to the gospel fool that does not want any truth. So what Proverbs is about is, God's way is that you resist level 1 foolishness, peth. You resist level 2, mocking. You resist level 3, becoming rebellious. Why? Because you can get to the basement and you can't get out. Once you get down to the Nabal level, there's no return.